Welcome to Abandon All Artichokes, a fast-paced, deck-wrecking card game. Harvest vegetables to build your deck and gain new power, as well as abandoning artichokes by any means necessary. If you're able to draw a hand free of artichokes at the end of your turn, you win! Abandon All Artichokes, a heartless card game. That right off the bat is cool. The case looks cool. It's a nice tin. The inside looks like a carton like you would get at a grocery store. There's an Okie Dokie Artichoke sticker. From Gamewright. 100% Gamewright fresh. That is pretty neat. The card's neat. The little pictures of the characters are neat. There's 100 cards. There's 40 artichokes and 6 each of beet, broccoli, carrot, corn, eggplant, leek, onion, peas, pepper, potato, and 4 player reference cards. So yeah, how do you set up? Well, we'll tell you. Give each player reference card, separate all 40 artichoke cards from the rest of the stack, deal 10 face down, forming their own personal deck to every player, and then return the ones to the 10 that aren't being used. Shuffle the remaining non-artichoke cards and put them face down in the middle of the playing area to form the garden stack. Reveal the top 5 cards of the garden stack and place them side by side to form the garden row. Leave space on the other side of the garden stack for the community compost pile. Composted cards will go there as the game progresses. And each player draws 5 artichokes from their personal deck into their hand, and you are ready to begin. Here's an example of what the thing should look like. Whoever most recently ate a cooked green vegetable gets to go first, and play continues to the left. On your turn, carry out the following 5 phases in order. Always one after the other, in that order. Replenish the garden row by revealing cards from the top of the garden stack until there are 5 cards. If at any time the garden row contains 4 or more of the same card, shuffle the entire row back into the stack and reveal 5 new cards. If the garden stack ever runs out, only the remaining garden row cards may be harvested. Harvest one of the face-up cards in the garden row into your hand. This card may be played at any point during your turn. Play any number of cards from your hand. To play a card, place it in front of you and resolve its actions. Once the card has been resolved, place it face up on top of your personal discard pile next to your deck before playing your next card. You may only play a card if you're able to fulfill all of its requirements. To compost a card, place it face up the community compost pile next to the garden stack. All composted cards are out of play for the rest of the game. You cannot play an artichoke card unless another card instructs you to do so. Unless the card instructions state otherwise, you may continue playing cards until you're either unable to play any more cards or you choose not to play any more cards. 4. Discard all unplayed or unplayable cards in your hand face up to the top of your personal discard pile. Draw 5 cards from the top of your personal deck to refill your hand. If your deck runs out before you've drawn all 5 cards, draw as many as you can, shuffle your discard pile to form a new deck, and finish drawing. If both your deck and discard pile run out, you may end up with fewer than 5 cards in your hand. Do not shuffle your discard pile to form a new deck unless you're unable to draw a hand of 5 cards at the end of your turn, or a potato or leek card is played if the target deck is empty. In order to end the game, when you refill your hand at the end of your turn, if none of the cards are artichokes, you automatically win the game. So there could still be 1 or 2 in your deck, but if you drew a hand of 5, your whole hand is nothing but non-artichokes, you win. Reveal your hand and say, "Abandon all artichokes! Abandon all artichokes!" You do not win if your hand has no artichokes in the middle of your or another player's turn. We should go with the card powers. The artichoke. You cannot play an artichoke card unless another card instructs you to do so. Beat. Choose an opponent. Each of you blindly draws a random card from each other's hand, reveals it simultaneously. If both are artichokes, compost them. Otherwise, swap them. If you get a non-artichoke card, you may play it during the same turn. If your opponent ends up with fewer than 5 cards in their hand after composting an artichoke, they do not draw back up to 5 cards till the end of their next turn. Broccoli. Compost an artichoke if your hand has 3 or more artichokes. Corn. Play this card with an artichoke. Then put a card from your garden row on top of your deck. If you have no artichokes in your hand, you cannot play this card. Carrot! As your only play action, so this will be your only play action this turn, so you can't do like multiple things, just this. Compost exactly 2 artichokes along with this card. Eggplant! Compost an artichoke along with this card. Then, all players simultaneously pass 2 cards of their choice face down to the player on their left. If a player has fewer than 2 cards in hand, they pass as many as they are able to. You may end up with a different number of cards in hand than what you started with. Leek. Oh, take a leak. Reveal the top card of an opponent's deck and put it on top of their discard pile or into their hand. If they do not have a deck, they must shuffle their discard pile to make one. If they don't have a discard pile or a deck, you can't play this card on them. The onion. He's a tough thing. Compost an artichoke. Put this card on top of another player's discard pile. If you have no artichokes in your hand, you cannot play this card. Pepper. Put a card from discard pile on top of your deck. If you do not have any cards in your discard pile, you cannot play this card. Peas. please. Reveal the top 2 cards from the garden stack. Put one on top of your discard pile, the other on top of an opponent's discard pile. If there are no cards left in the garden stack, you cannot play this card. Potato. I like his face. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an artichoke, compost it. Otherwise, place on top of your discard pile. If you don't have a deck, shuffle your discard pile to make one. If you don't have a discard pile or a deck, you cannot play this card. A word from Gamewright. Despite the title, no harm or offense is intended towards artichokes. Truth be told, we really like them. Braised with garlic and lemon, to be exact. And that's that. It's a fun little play. It's kind of like a little deck building game, because when you play your cards, you put them in your discard, and they'll be later used to shuffle into your player deck, which means you'll know what cards to play again, and you can not necessarily cheat, but you can plan ahead of what, like, oh, if I can place, I know this is in there, so I can draw into that, or I know I can place this on top, and then this card, if I pick this, says I pick this off the top of this to do this. So it's pretty fun and strategy type of game. So your deck becomes less artichoke and more of these special other vegetables that can help you get through your deck fast enough, hopefully to abandon all artichokes. Okie dokie. Again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you all next time for some more fun, gnarly games. What a heartless game it is. And that's the game. It's fun, it's quick, it's cute, there's card powers. Yes, it's a fun little game that you can play multiple times with multiple people, as much as you want. It's fast, it's fun, it's cute.